Extreme Family Man here. One of the reasons I haven't been doing my videos is I have a fifth metabolic fracture in my hand. So they did a steel plate in my finger here and my pinky finger, and they're trying to rehabilitate it. I got 10 days before I go back to the doctor. So it's going to be a little while before I can actually do some more mechanicking and more videos like that. But in the meantime, I ordered here from Go-Powersports. These are, they call them cleated tires. I call them X pattern because they kind of look like an X. I got me a 12, I believe it's a 12-inch new belt. This is for the Murray that I'm working on. I got a new 420 chain they sent me here. It's 3 foot long. A bunch of new cool stickers sent me from Go Powersports. Thank you guys over there at Go Powersports. We appreciate it. I got a new 44-inch 5-axle. So beautiful. And the keepers and bearings for that, so that I will be able to do that, plus the rim stops for that axle, so I'll be able to stop it and stop the tires from sliding. And I have a new sprocket. It's a 60-tooth sprocket. It'll be going on that Murray. And then I guess in shipping we lost one of my 420 chains, but I got a clutch here for my Yerf dog that I just put that new 212 Predator motor on. This is from Go Powersports. So yeah, I'll get to test that out and see how that works. All the tires came blowed on the bead, ready to go, pre-seated. They have a really good deal down there on buying the tire and rim sets. I definitely would recommend going to Go Powersports. I found better deals there than I found most anywhere else that I've been looking for these parts. They have very knowledgeable staff there. Of course, John and Ike from Cars and Cameras uses them. And they seem to have very good success with getting parts for their go-karts. So I highly recommend Go Powersports. Right here, guys. Go to Go Powersports. And get your go-kart parts. They have parts for just about any kind of go-kart out there. And if they don't, they can pretty much figure out what size, diameter, whatever you need, and get you specific parts, you know, that may be aftermarket, but they are just as good a quality. So I recommend going to Go Powersports, guys. This is one of my newest additions to my collection other than my go-karts. See, somebody put a new fender on her there, and they had painted over it with this garbage paint. So I'm trying to clean her up and get her rebuilt. If I can find all the parts that I need. It's a work in progress, but I will get them eventually, and should be back up and running. I got a couple other projects long term. It's got a brand new SBT 700 motor in it. I took it out and hit a big wave and broke the throttle pin clip up there in the little throttle, and it's been sitting a while, so the solenoid went dead on it, so I'll have to replace the solenoid. As far as the Honda, she's still working 100% great. I fixed the throttle position sensor so she doesn't stick anymore. She was having a little bit of a sticking issue, so if you guys have this Foreman Foreman 500 and you put it in the water all the time and you have it sealed properly, like I do. I try to do it as properly as I can. Being an ex-Honda mechanic, I took every precaution I could get with doing this. If you're watching my videos, I can do a pretty good rundown of what you need to do to these things. But there's a throttle position sensor on the, if you're standing at the back of it, it would be the right side of the throttle body. So it's up under the seat down here. You won't be able to see it, but it's under this right side. Let me pull the seat off, maybe I can show you right through that. Oh, so it's on the left side if you're standing at the back of the bike. This right here, throttle position sensor, the gasket tends to leak when put underwater all the time. So I would recommend putting a little RVT on that little rubber grommet that they have there. You could possibly put a little dielectric grease around it and try to seal it with that. The only thing about dielectric grease with me is it washes out over time. If you do an RVT, make a gasket that makes your gasket a little bit thicker, take the gasket out of its seat and put a little RVT in the seat and let it harden for 3 days, and then put your gasket back in the seat. It'll cause your gasket to be a little bit thicker, so when you compress it on there, it won't leak. It'll seal it very well. That's what I did with the airbox lid. I took the lid off, took the gasket out, put a little RVT in there. See if I can show you. My airbox lid is still very easy to take off. Just pop these guys here, like factory. She just pops right off. See, nice seal. So if you look, you can kind of see a little bit of RVT. I took the gasket out. I put a little RVT in there, and then I dropped the gasket back in. And now, when I close it down, it seats just like factory. I don't have any sticking issues, and I don't get any leaks through my lid. That seemed to work perfectly. I never had a problem with it. So that's what I recommend. The only water leakage I do get, and I've seen it online, everybody complains about they have like an air reservoir on these things. It's a secondary box. It's right here. And it leaks through that a little tiny bit, I believe. Somewhere, I don't know where exactly, but I do get a little bit of water in my thing here. It almost fills it up. Could be up there. If you can see, it looks like a little tear up there. Maybe my RVT ripped a little bit from a bump or something. I don't know if that could be the case, or if these boxes just leak because they're maybe not sealed properly. It's a resonator box, they call it, for the air. I did not remove it. People remove it and plug it, but I didn't remove it because Honda put it there for a reason. It might be because at certain points it needs extra air. Not 100% sure, but I've never had a problem with it. Never removed any of the Honda OEM parts. I just added my parts to it. Of course, the snorkels came off of the air boot. I did remove the original snorkel that they had that came up and under here and came up into here to run my snorkels. So other than that, I didn't remove anything else. I just dielectric greased all the connections, all the servos and diodes, all the fuses and the fuse panel. I dielectric greased every fuse and where they plug into. Now I'm thinking about possibly sealing the bottom of the fuse panel so that water doesn't try to protrude up through the bottom. The fuse panel does get water in it for me, but it doesn't affect my fuses because they're immersed in dielectric grease. If I have to replace one, big whoop-de-doo, you pull one out, you put a new one in, immerse it in dielectric grease. You want to check and make sure that they're not getting washed out over large amounts of times of slamming into the water and everything else. And then if it does happen, you might want to reapply some dielectric grease. I've only had to do that one time in 2.5 years, and I put this thing in water almost every day other than the past maybe 3 months or 4 months, maybe 5 months. I haven't had much rain, even though I drive this thing in lakes and ponds, wherever I can get it in water. But yeah, all right, guys. So keep an eye out. There's one of my iguanas. See if I can zoom in on him. There he is, hanging out on one of my tires. I got a bunch of little iguanas that hang out here. But yeah, this will be the next project when I get time. And then, like I said, I'm gonna get all these Go Power Sports parts put on my go-karts and try to get them up and running. And then I will do some building with them. I have quite a few motors around that I'd like to try to work on and maybe put something bigger in a go-kart. I'm not sure. I also have this little project right here. It's a little gas-powered scooter that when I get some time, I'm going to try to swap motors on that, maybe make it a little faster. It's got nice suspension in it. I already started trying to paint some of it. I got to do some more work on it, guys, but keep up with me, and thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, we appreciate it.